Hi there, Big Italy 42 here with you once again, talking about some daily Academy articles. And this one I'm going to cover market exploitation, and this is a very key aspect of playing daily fantasy sports. If you do play on multiple sites, if you don't play on multiple sites, it'll give you a good reason to play on multiple sites. And I'm going to break down some reasoning, some rationale, and exactly what market exploitation is and what it can do for you in your daily fantasy games. So a great way to look at it is, for instance, if you're playing MLB on FanDuel and DraftKings today, first thing that I do is I run through the salaries for every player. And I like to see guys who seem underpriced, seem overpriced, seem similarly priced, and things of that nature. And it's very key because there's always going to be players who are more expensive on one site, cheaper on the other. For instance, today's April 8th as I'm recording this. Last night, Zach Greinke was $10,000 on FanDuel, $8,800 on DraftKings. So significant difference there. And it doesn't mean that he was necessarily a bad play on FanDuel. Just makes him a significantly better play on DraftKings due to that price decrease. So taking advantage of things like that is key and really gives you an edge while you're playing daily fantasy, and makes it a lot easier for guys to pay off their salary, especially your starting pitchers in MLB. So like I said, what you want to do every day, go through, look through all of the salaries, and we're going to have those listed on the site for you here real soon with some cheat sheets and things of that nature. So it'll be really easy for you to find those things. We also highlight a lot of them on our podcasts, guys that are underpriced, guys that are overpriced, things of that nature. But what you want to do also is once it gets further in the season, you're going to want to look at what's going on with that team. For instance, maybe there's someone who's hurt. Maybe your batter's batting higher in the order than he typically does. You've got guys who are better against lefties as opposed to righties and vice versa. Sometimes you'll see a player that bats second against righties, bats sixth against lefties. So, what you want to have is you want to have yourself a nice middle ground where you have a good research regimen. You know exactly what you're looking for and when you're looking for it. Market exploitation really is key because a player that you already liked becomes an elite play if he's significantly cheaper on one site to the other. And players that may not have been on your radar, maybe you see them higher up in the order, significant price decrease, and you don't mind putting them in as a cheap punt play. So it makes a huge difference to exploit market prices. And keeping up with the news, like I already kind of touched on, is really, really important. You want to know, who's on the DL. If new pitchers coming in and going to make a spot start, pitchers are obviously easier to know if they're playing them. If you got FanDuel and DraftKings, both have the probable pitcher tag right next to each guy. And DraftKings also has the check mark for when guys are in the starting lineup. But always make sure you double check starting lineups. That's not to say that DraftKings doesn't know the starting lineups, but there have been times when there's been some fantasy sites, and I don't mean the DFS sites themselves. I mean some sites that send out some lineups that aren't completely accurate. So make sure you check those with the team Twitter accounts and official websites before locking some guys in, because obviously no one's ever trying to mislead anyone, but there are times where you see a guy not listed in the starting lineup and he's got the check on DraftKings. And usually it's just someone providing them with some bad information. It gets resolved, but very, very key to check that out. Also, when you want to see a new situation, and this goes back to, a number 6 starter getting the spot in the number 5 in a solid matchup, you want to take advantage of those and really just look at each and every site. I mean, if you're a guy that plays on, or girl, that plays on 4, 5, 6 different sites, you want to figure out what the average price per player is, because there's a lot of varying salary caps and things of that nature. Fantasy Ace is significantly different. Draftster, Fantasy Feud, any of those places. So what you really want to take advantage of is those things. And also, a lot of times there's going to be 1 to 2, even sometimes 3 players on a specific day, especially in baseball. It could be an entire team that's just in a really, really great spot. And the batting orders aren't as relevant, and you've got them just against a really bad pitcher. Maybe it's a team that just crushes righties against a pitcher that struggles against lefties, and it's lefty-loaded. Whatever it may be, you always want to take advantage of each and every site, and it really is a big advantage for DFS to play multiple sites. And the last thing here is late-breaking news, not nearly as relevant in Major League Baseball as it is in the NBA, because there's not a lot of guys going down after shoot-around, coming down with the flu, things of that nature. And the great thing about MLB with the stability is you usually know the lineups 3 to 4, if not more, hours before the game starts. So it's definitely huge when you can have that in front of you. You don't expect anything to change, and rarely does it ever change throughout the course of a day. So this is going right back to all of the things I've discussed in some other Daily Academy podcasts and articles as well. If you want to read more, the article below you right here, but that sums it up for you really well. And all of these strategies apply, 50-50s, head-to-heads, GPPs, whatever it may be. Market exploitation really is key to find an edge over your opponents. Thank you once again for listening. I'll be back with some more Daily Academy podcasts and, of course, the daily podcasts.